Hello, everyone, and welcome to some Azure Dreams. We'll have a crazy race today, obviously, because Orza and PouletSansTete are both one of our best runners in the whole community. We're closing in to the end of this tournament, and this is going to be great to actually see them face off in a crazy match. But yeah, interestingly enough, today is these two sparring it out, and I can't wait to see how this goes. So yeah, they're just gonna finish up doing the introduction, prepared to be outside of Ko's house, as it is how we actually start the run, and we will jump right into the thing. Also today I'm joined by my partner, Programmer. Thank you very much for being here today. It's gonna be fun.
My pleasure. I'm just as hyped for this race as you are. These two are, Poulet, you can see from his name alone that he's a madman, and Orza has just that consistency. So which one do you think is, which one do you have your eye on today? The consistency or the madman maverick?
Oh, that's gonna be tough. Actually, I do have a soft spot for PouletSansTete's style of gameplay. He is super interesting to watch as a viewer. It's really interesting to see. Orza consistencies, though, is just so good that it's gonna push some buttons on PouletSansTete's side. So can't actually wait to see how this goes. Also, there is new, not tech, but new strategies we actually go for. One of which is turning CUNY into a water monster due to some new information we have that we didn't used to do. Thanks to you, actually, Programmer. That might change the cards. I know Orza was not a big fan of it, and I know Poulet sometimes lose CUNY before he can actually use it, so I don't know how we will see water CUNY today, but if we do, that could be a big game changer.
Oh, for sure. That's one of my favorite things about this game is the fact that every runner can have a different style and all are equally valid. You've got people who, play very cautiously. You've got people who take a lot of risks. I know that yourself, you like to take sort of calculated risks.
Yes.
And
oh yeah, absolutely. The gameplay style is just something really, really fun to have as a community. It's not just there is one strategy and you do that. But maybe I should try to take some time to explain a little bit more about the game. Maybe some people in chat don't know much about Azure Dreams. So
yeah.
let's do this. Azure Dreams is a roguelike mystery dungeon style game. It is an RPG. It is also turn-based. It's an action game. If you've played any of the mystery dungeon, you would already know that. But the game might go super fast. They have fast button that's integrated into the game, but it is still turn-based. As long as you don't move, nothing will happen. If you have played Ancient Cave and Lufio 2, that might ring a bell as well. So every time you do one action, enemies will do the same, and so will your pet. So they will try to manipulate turn order to their advantage. Other than that, they are in a tower. This is the only dungeon in the game. This is the whole fighting part of the game. It is a 40 floor high tower. And it is made to have some walls, some moments in the tower that get so hard that you're supposed to go back in town, re-strategize, go back, and come back in a little bit stronger each and every time. But as this is a speedrun, then we generally don't go back to town. We try to clear the tower in just one single run, which is already in and of itself absolutely crazy. And as this is not necessarily the most consistent setup, we changed the rules a little bit so it would make a very interesting tournament. And the way we changed that is that they only have one go at the tower, but if they die or if they leave for X or Y reason, then that is the end of their run. And the floor that we're on is going to be their score, and their opponent's going to try to beat that. And they have maximum 1 hour to be as high as they can.
Yes, and to jump right into the action here, we see that both runners have picked up a Scarlet Wand, and even with that small first floor, they're going to be happy with that. Normally on the first few floors, you want to take some time to explore a little bit, find some nice items, and the Scarlet Wand is one of those nicest of items. Wands give your mixed magic, the attack that they're typically doing with CUNY there, an attack boost, and because CUNY's a fire element, that Scarlet Wand matches elements, and it's like a same type attack bonus in Pokemon. Gives you a damage multiplier, and you can see they're just kind of plowing through enemies.
Yeah, exactly. The swords will give you a numbered extra damage. So let's say a sword deals 5 damage instead of the 2, you'll get +3 damage. That's just +3. On low levels, it's going to be actually a very big increase. Those just small number actually do add up really, really quickly. But obviously, as the game will go on and mixed magic is going to become stronger, a percentage increase is going to be just absolutely better than an incrementally numbered, because the sword will never become stronger actually, unless you find some sands that actually can temper it. But other than that, that increase in damage will be what you'll get for the rest of the game. Only when Ko will level up and gain some attack stat will you actually get better, and that is going to be multiplied by the 1 as well. So again, the 1 is definitely the way to go for most of the runs.
Unquestionably.
We have some kind of a interesting room on PouletSansTete's side, and one of the things we haven't talked about yet is the game is absolutely randomized from top to bottom. This is a game we've raised. This is our 3rd tournament, but this is the first one that we actually have a crazy tool that has been made by programmer. Actually, thank you very much for that.
You're quite welcome.
We have a randomizer, but also, most importantly, what I like to call a de-randomizer, where we have the chance to race both runner in the same tower. So you saw a crazy room on PouletSansTete's side, and just after that, Orza entered the same room. It is going to be generated exactly the same when you enter the floor, but obviously, human decision will make both runner possibly have a very different experience on that floor. But starting elements, where the monsters are, if they're asleep, or everything else, is going to be the same for both of them, and then their decision will make or break the game for them. But at least it feels very, very fair compared to what we used to do earlier on, and that makes it so much more interesting to watch.
Yeah, it does. We saw what might have been a little bit of a trap room there that Horse had stepped in, getting turned into a frog. If you've not seen Azure Dreams before, you know that those traps can be absolutely deadly.
Yes.
Turning into a frog, getting paralyzed in place. That could be a real run under. Thankfully, there wasn't too much dangerous things going on.
Because the worst
worst
part of being a frog is not necessarily the fact that you start taking double damage and you cannot really fight back. You can, but you'll deal 1 damage. So that's definitely dangerous. But you can run away, and as long as you don't get pincered, well, you can probably walk it off, and you'll be fine, right? But the worst part about that is when you get certain bad status, including sleep and paralyze and frog, CUNY, whatever you've put his AI on, turns into a defender, where he just wants to take care of you. Lucky warp trap, though.
Yeah, warp traps are very scary things because you can get separated from your familiar. Boy,
yeah, lucky warp trap on both sides.
Yeah.
So warp trap is one of the things that'll change. That won't be the same for every player, because every time they take an action, they move the RNG once, and unless they take the warp trap at exactly the same amount of RNG call count, they will be warped at different places. And luckily in this run, they both had a good one, because it could have gone ugly on one side really quickly.
Absolutely correct. We see that Poulet is now onto floor 6, beginning the set of the water floors. Being a fire elemental, CUNY is weak to water in that elemental triangle. And so the floors 6 through 9, generally, you don't want to explore too much. We see that, of course, you do need to find the elevator, but they've gotten a pretty healthy set of items from the first few floors they had to explore. They've got a Scarlet Wand, a nice shield, iron on Poulet's side, and live shield for Horza.
Yep.
And Spell Ball, Holy Scroll, Holy Bell. There's just a lot of possibilities. I'm hoping that we get to see one of these two runners get up pretty high, maybe even get a floor 40 clear, but it's quite too early to say about that.
Yeah, obviously the 40 clear is always the dream. Even the best runners, because these are two very, very good runners. They both have already cleared the tower many a times, but many a times doesn't mean they consistently can do it. Getting a tournament match where one of the runner actually reached 40 is always like a very hype and a very crazy thing. But if anybody is to do it, obviously these are two of the best contenders for it. But I mean, this still would be very impressive to see that in a tournament match of all places. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, a tournament match where you don't have information about where your opponent is, and so you can get stuck in those head games of, oh well, they found all of these good items for sure. I'm sure that they're just rocketing up there. I gotta go faster.
Yeah. And so many things can happen as well. I mean, you just don't find an egg on floor 11 and you continue to move on, and you know later on that was a Garuda egg that let you actually fly across the stage, and then you're up and it's just 20 floors ahead of you. And your luck can change so fast in this game, or just a bad trap and then you lose CUNY and then you need to move on alone. And that's actually one of the other things that's super fun to see. CUNY definitely helps you to fight. Co alone is bad, CUNY alone is bad, but together they are a very good team, and you can go very long with as long as you're both of them very close to one another. But solo co, so running when CUNY is dead, is actually in a sense faster because you won't ever engage in a fight. You will always try to run away, but you're more at the mercy of what the tower has to throw at you. So if you get in a pincer, then you're probably done. If you were to be with CUNY, but we could probably fight your way through on one of the both side of the pincer, like we're gonna see right here. Or is this just gonna face that bloom and don't care about the coming behind balloon? You will actually fight that one as well. But if it was CUNY less, then that would be much more scary. And obviously, the higher you get into the tower, the tougher it's going to get, right? So running CUNY less is faster, but it's so riskier. Like nobody will try that out in a tournament match. I don't think I'll ever see that.
At least not. Maybe in a third match, if it's a friendly match, that's one of the two runners is one. They may choose to do a familiar list run or a Palumpa percent, where you gotta go up using pretty much the most basic weak monster you get as one of those starting eggs. Here we see a nice tactic from PouletSansTete, using the wind seed to change that bloom from a water elemental to a wind elemental, so it's now on the weak end of the triangle, and able to take that one out pretty easily.
Yeah, blooms are super tanky, so seeing Ko with a Scarlet one, which is definitely, like you said, the best weapon around, change the bloom into a wind monster and then hit it for 31. That's something you just never get to see. Best weapon and good elemental triangle on the bloom. Yeah, that's satisfying.
Yeah,
but even on Orza's side, sorry.
Yeah, no, keep going.
I was going to say, even on Orza's side, he's eating these blooms that are water for 19. This is still very beautiful numbers. Again, that generally would come in with a Copper Sword and hit for 8. They have 30-something HP, so that's not necessarily fun. Yeah, absolutely, the one is becoming a good help. But, PouletSansTete has been put asleep.
Yeah, thankfully, CUNY's been doing a decent job, defending his master while Ko is asleep. Man, these items, though, have been just out of control. I've seen 2 Holy Scrolls, number of good spell balls. Spell balls are always just a high-value item because you can use them somewhere between 4 and 7 times. You don't know, except for that initial fireball that you get, which starts with always 5 charges.
Yes.
And,
again,
looks like Ko is just, maybe he didn't get a good night's rest, and is just that much more susceptible to sleep today.
Well, this is EU Ko, so it might be later a little bit on their side. So maybe he's just a little bit tired. All right, so we're at first instance of Volcano, so they are pretty bulky. They actually do it kind of hard. But I mean, this is definitely not hard as in the tower is gonna feed some very, very tough monster close to floor 12. So this is your last real chance to get some good XP. Obviously, Volcano are no jokes. You really need to take care of take them very seriously. But after that, the monster is going to get so crazy hard that you're just not going to face them or very little of them. So this is still your last chance to level up. I generally try to leave floor 10 at minimum of level 9, because after that you just don't get enough EXP to the grind is not worth it. But yeah, these floors are actually grindable, so I try to at least get back to level 9, and I can't wait to see if they're both gonna do that. Yeah, level 9 on Poulet.
Mm-hmm. And there he goes, right on up.
Yep, that's what I would have done. Yep.
So they both do have a decent shield. I think that I saw Poulet pass over that mirror shield.
His shield is cursed, so that's why.
Oh, I missed that.
Yep.
There we go. I mean, wait. It doesn't show the curse icon next to it. So did he find a decursed roll?
Maybe it did. I didn't catch that one then. Okay, not curse. All right.
I didn't see it.
It might have been a rust trap as well. I just thought it might have been assumed.
Yep. And we see Hex Tree pointing out, yep, was not cursed. He could have switched to the mirror, but the Iron Shield does give a little bit more defense, even when cursed. So...
Well, not that much. It's 4 instead of 3, so I still disagree with the decision. I would have taken the Mirror Shield then. Life Shield could be... Oh, okay. I don't know then. Okay, he's got a new Iron Shield. That's not -1. Okay, I guess that's one way to go.
So, was that intentional to put on the Iron Sword there? I was thinking he was putting it on to test it, and keep it with him if he did lose CUNY, but
maybe he's gonna go for a water CUNY no matter what, and then the Scarlet one is not as good.
Yeah. Could be, but he did leave it behind.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, I wasn't too concerned there. Picked up the blue collar.
He's going for it right off the bat. He might only actually hatch it and wait. But I mean, CUNY's on prime level. The only thing he needs is actually a Stream Wand or a Blizzard Sword might do it as well.
Right. Why don't you explain to the lovely ladies and gentlemen what Poulet is potentially going to do here with that Palumpa that he just hatched?
Yes, so he's found the blue collar, which is you already have a red collar, lets you actually have a familiar. Blue collar lets you have a second one. Oh, geez. Well, these are items that spawn in corridor.
Whoa.
This is extremely rare.
Never in my time playing Azure Dreams have I seen that happen.
Yeah, I've seen traps in corridor, but never did I see items, and he just came into the floor, so that's really new. Wow, that's so weird. This game never ceased to amaze. All right, so what he's doing right now is using both collar. When both monsters are out, you actually gain the ability to fuse them, and that's what he did. There's a lot of rules regarding fusing, but the most important thing here is that they actually they check both monsters. The higher level one will eat the lower level one, but the element of the final monster will not be based off level. It'll be based off the elemental triangles. So CUNY and Palumpa, well, CUNY was higher level, so he ate the Palumpa. And but Palumpa was water and CUNY was fire, and so oh, that was weird. Okay, this floor is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Griffin got in and just went back into the room instead of fighting back. Okay, this one's fighting. But yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess he was counting on it being passive again, but no such luck here.
No.
Thankfully, it doesn't miss his attack, and he's fine. But
that was kind of scary.
Yeah.
Will we see the exact same thing on Orza's side? That's what I'm interested in seeing.
We very much should, unless he loses CUNY, in which case I think probably there'd be one fewer RNG
okay.
check or something like that.
On the left side, we see a Kraken. So these monsters are very well designed. They have super high HP. They hit crazy hard. They have super high defense. And when you hit them, you actually take recoil equal to percentage of the damage you did. And their weakness is nothing.
Well, I mean, if you... We see that strangeness on Horse's side again.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so if you are using a non-metal weapon, you can take out Krakens without getting that recoil damage.
Yes.
As well as, I saw recently that if you have the Earth Shield equipped, you also don't take recoil damage. he's looking...
Or is it just like, what's even happening?
Scattered across the map.
Yeah.
This is going to be one for the ages. We'll have to look back at this seed later and figure out what the heck is going on.
So I guess the game thought this was a room, even though it's not. I guess that's the only possible...
Yeah, I guess so. I like what Hextree said here in chat, that the weakness of the Kraken is the Olim.
Oh yeah. It became some kind of a meme in the community where we say that it's the easiest math equation ever. A Kraken plus a Ulim is equal win. You don't ask any questions, you just do that. But they both go for binding, which is not necessarily a bad idea. Even though I would have gone with the Ulim to clear inventory space. Using a ball, do not clear your inventory, and when your inventory is full, you want to make some room for new items.
Right, especially if you're going to possibly feed them to what we see on Poulet's side here, the Barong, which you can feed it items, and it will pop out some random item without regards to rarities, so you can get some pretty neat items this way.
And we never generally talk about that, but there are some items that are really, really rare. Not necessarily rarer, but they just cannot appear in the tower unless they come from a Barong. And we have one today. It spew out a sleep herb, which put an enemy to sleep. You can eat it yourself and put yourself to sleep, which is not really a good idea, but you can do that.
I mean, some of us have trouble sleeping at night. I guess, there's no real shame in taking a sleep herb if you need to.
I agree.
Just don't get dependent on it. That's my only suggestion.
And also don't use it in a tower full of monster.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that one. You have to... and don't operate heavy machinery, but other than that, it's okay.
Yes. So yeah, they're gonna make some... Poulet's actually working on his inventory, making sure he's fine on this. This is... Okay. And oh yeah, we are past floor 15, so now if you see... Okay, we've seen Manivas, which is a water monster earlier on. Every time they are going to be in the tower and then not in there, and then they're going to come back. They do that 3 times, and each and every time they come back as part of the monster pool, they actually learn a new ability. And this time, they actually learn the ability to turn into items. So they will go to the side of an item and then transform into that. So if you see 2 of the same item, one close to the other, this is super scary and should be treated as a very dangerous trap. If you happen to come in melee with one of the items that is actually Maniva, it will get to and transform and attack you before you can even do anything. So it's going to be really, really scary. So that's why you saw, and there we have it on Poulet's side. Many coins in a room, that's going to be scary because there could be another or even 2 other Manivas as part of that. And they hit pretty hard.
Yep, not to mention the fact that they can spin off clones when they get hit. Those clones are lower level, 10 levels lower, but still it can mean that you've got to at least spend some extra time trying to clear them out. And if you do get surrounded, they can at least block off your path because Manivas, the game says that they're too heavy to lift, but I think they're just too liquidy to lift.
I agree.
Code doesn't have a bucket or anything with them, so...
Or is there some kind of a pickle? You might like some Barong. It's always fun to see, except when you actually cannot take the time to feed it stuff. When you feed it something, it actually make it lose its turn. But yeah, you don't want to miss your throws because, that's going to be a game. Oh, and we have something interesting on PouletSansTete sides as well. We see the blind status. In many games, blind will generally be... your character lose accuracy or something like that. No. Azure Dreams blinds you, the player, and so you can even attack your own pet, resulting in some very dangerous death. These status in this games are really, really, really interesting.
Yeah, they are. Poulet doing the wise thing there, seeing that Cuny wasn't able to take out the threats himself, using a Holy Bell to get the monsters out of the room, healing up on the elevator before heading up to 17.
Yes.
We haven't talked about just how close these runners are. Poulet just now moving up to 17 from 16, and Orza working his way through 16. This is anyone's game.
Absolutely. Especially 17, 18, and 19 will introduce a new enemy called Pickets. And Pickets are some kind of green alien thingy with big heads and smiles. They are very weird monster. That's going to get scarier real fast. But yeah, so Pickets, they have many abilities, and they are very weird monster, but I'll try to explain it as concise as I can. They have the lowest attack upgrade in the whole tower. So they'll most of the time only hit you for 1. So as a fighter, they're really not impressive at all. Oh, and here we have one on PouletSansTete side. So they hit for 2 probably because of the elevation difference, but they have a very low attack power. That's what you need to remember. Second thing, they move twice as fast as you do. So every time you take 1 action, they'll take 2. So you cannot run away from them. They'll catch up. And the third thing, which is the most important thing, if they ever get in melee with your main character with Ko, they can try to steal your stuff. And if they
do... Like we just saw there.
Yep, he lost his Mile Seed. And it's not important if they succeed or not. They might fail. It's not important if they succeed or fail. They will teleport away from you. And Paralyzed Trap on Orza's side. He's in trouble.
He recovered before it became too dangerous, but...
yes.
And choosing to use a Holy Bell there, I think perhaps because he was a little bit low on HP, even though he had the high ground. Probably just didn't want to have to take out both the Maneva and the Garuda, but I think he probably could have managed. Has Exceed here on Horse's side, using that to boost Ko's attack a little bit. That is also going to boost the mixed magic damage. So moving on now to 17 versus Poulet's 19. Poulet, meanwhile, here taking on this Arachne while sleeping.
Yes.
Definitely a great idea to take out a monster or check it the other way if you don't want to risk it waking up as you're wailing on it.
Yeah, we haven't spoke about that a lot, but actually most of the monster, not all of them, like this wee dog, it's not possible, but some of the monster you have the ability to pick up and throw away. Like you could do that on the Picket. It has a 62.5% chance of working, so 5/8. And if it cannot work, you won't lose your turn for actually attempting it. You'll only lose a turn if you try and it fails. So that is really interesting, but the thing programmer was actually talking about is the fact that if a monster has some of the bad status, including blind, paralyzed, sleep, frogged, and a lot of these ones, the monster MP. Out of MP, yeah, you'll always succeed in trying to picking them up. So a sleeping monster like this, yep, it just woke up as he came in. I would have thrown that so fast you would not believe it.
Well, as it is, being using a water Cuny, he is able to deal more damage to that Viper than he would otherwise, which is...
but he's still on the Scarlet one, which is really, really scary, because it's not helping much. His damage output is actually lower than that of Orza right now, so even on Water Monster...
Yeah. That is true. So I guess we'll see which strategy, gives each runner the edge. What's nice is they'll kind of struggle a little bit in different places.
Yes.
Combined with the runners' different ways of playing, there's just so many facets to this. I love it.
Yes, absolutely. Again, like you said earlier during the run, different playstyle will still yield result. if you have practiced enough. So even though they actually have played so differently right now, and we have a sleep trap on Orza's side. Okay, it's fine. Oof. So what's really interesting now is pickets are really bad. We can still see them on Orza's side, but they do give a crap ton of XP, and that's really a lot, especially considering that if you make it a duel between CUNY and them, they don't get a chance to actually steal your stuff, so they're really useless. So that's an easy fight most of the time, and if you continue to grind like that, you can get some very good experience. Some very good experience for just like fighting a monster that cannot really win against you. And that is the last time in the tower you get a chance to actually grind. After that, starting floor 20, when you don't see pickets anymore, the monsters are going to get so scary and so stupid that you might win against one if you use items or stuff like that. But realistically, you won't be fighting a lot more. You're probably going to be running away. And this is only like half of the tower. It's a 40th floor tower. You're only on floor 20, so after that, this is a scary part.
Yeah. Poulet running away from that combination of Unicorn and Viper.
Yes.
He could take on the Viper, chooses to abuse its AI a little bit to get out of its path. Monsters, when they're not aggroed, if they're in a hallway, will always take the left route if they don't, if they're not blinded or something like that. And so he knew that if he went to the right, that Viper would continue to what it was its left and go straight down that hallway. Very nice play. While he could have taken it out, Vipers can lower your attack.
Ooh, life one, and he doesn't even pick it up. Really?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
I'm a little surprised. I guess he could be concerned about curse, or maybe he was thinking that he might want to switch back elements, but I would have gone with the life one. I'm with you on that.
Oh yeah, because I think a Scarlet one is not only bad things. Obviously, it does reduce your damage. You should do against a few monsters, but it will actually cover a little bit of your weakness as well. So your damage against wind monsters is not going to be as bad. But I feel that using fireballs and stuff like that, you're already going to cover your wind weaknesses. So I don't see it, but that doesn't mean it's not a good strategy. Poulet has shown that he's actually really good at this game. He might know some things that I don't, or he might just feel it. But I mean, that's not something I would have gone with.
Right. We see here Poulet picking up CUNY, putting him down to make sure that he started that turn exactly where he wanted. CUNY, that can be a really great strategy sometimes to make sure that CUNY is aligned, so the monster can either target Ko or CUNY in order to try to share the pain, as you say.
Yes.
Here we see unicorns, while not strong, can blind you, which can be kind of dangerous. Orza, meanwhile, has made a friend by using that Holy Scroll to turn a Viper friendly. Definitely a worthwhile friend to have on these floors where you don't have a whole lot of friends and things are getting spoopier and spoopier.
Oh, I agree. And a Viper is a really good friend. It's going to hit really hard. It's actually quite tanky. So it's a good friend to have. It actually took care of that wee dog without any kind of problem. Obviously, Elemental Advantage helped as well. But yeah, using a Holy Scroll, which is a really good resources. Stream one. There we have it. Okay, now damage is going to rack up.
And a Binding Ball, no less. So yeah, the Stream Wand, just like with the Scarlet Wand and the Fire Spell, now that you have a Water CUNY and the Water Wand, the Stream Wand, we can see that you're going to get that essentially elemental attack bonus for matching elements. Yes. And he's going to, at least on water and especially fire enemies, just tear through them. And now you can see he's not even bothering to check what that wand is. There can't possibly be a better wand for him.
Exactly.
For a run like this.
Exactly. So, AI 1 CUNY didn't trigger. That's weird.
Yeah, there's some weird situations I've seen. Like, if you throw a item on the same turn that CUNY would trigger, that could also cause CUNY's turn to be skipped. We see here that invisible stealth trying to snipe CUNY doesn't quite finish the job, and Poulet takes out his would-be invisible assassin with a fireball charge.
The scarier part is generally they are not that strong. They are okay-ish strong, but not that bad. But generally we roll with fire CUNY, which would never be afraid of a stealth. But as a water CUNY, though, that's not exactly the same. If there was another one and you didn't use medicinal, then it would have been kill range, and then I would have been actually scary to lose CUNY to a monster that doesn't even exist. Yeah, you don't want to see that.
Indeed.
All right, floor 24, 3 extra floor on PouletSansTete side. This is absolutely catchable, and especially with Orza, which is a good runner, I'm not scared that he can actually do it. But this is still a good lead. It's not commanding, but it's really good. All right, and especially if he is to get into trouble like this one. Turn right. Nope, turn left. All right, he should be able to dispatch that considering he's now have the stream wand. Yeah, 51. That is so crazy.
Yeah. Sorry, just typing to chat a little bit here. That miss is not going to be of too much assistance, thankfully. 53 damage with that stream wand on that Viper makes Vipers just not quite as scary as they would be to Horza here, who's deciding which ball he wants to use, choosing to use that flame ball. Absolutely a reasonable move, so he was able to take it out with just a single hit with AI1 CUNY here.
Yeah, what I really enjoy, though, is having fire CUNY means that when you actually decide to use ball, it's going to be against water monster, which will need to charge every time. When you do the same with water CUNY, the enemies you're going to decide to use your fireball charges on are wind monster, which always be one shot. So that's one of the things I really enjoy from water CUNY, actually.
Yep, and we can see that it's helping pick up a little bit of a lead here. Getting that light seed on Poulet's side, normally that wouldn't be too useful. Okay, maybe you could turn a water monster into a fire monster, so you'd at least do neutral damage against it. But now with a water CUNY, you're able to take something perhaps like a golem, throw that light seed at it, turn it to fire, and now you'd be at the strong end of the elemental triangle against it, and you'd be able to take it out a little bit easier.
Well, easier, yes. Golems are still scary, wherever you are in the elemental triangle. But yeah, you could probably AI once kite them to death. So I feel you're right on this one. These small monsters are Palumpa, as you have seen in the game earlier on, but they actually have one different thing. Oh yeah, it's a range ability. It can go through it's not range, but I mean it can go through diagonal walls. So they will actually attack your pet. It'll deal no damage, but it will actually bag it. And you won't be able to use that collar for as long as the Palumpa is alive, or until you actually leave the floor. So you just want to... Oh, that's a miss. You want to make sure you actually kill it so you can get CUNY back, because if not, then you might be in some kind of a trouble.
Right. If you're able to find the elevator, you are able to go up to the next floor and get your collar back. But...
yes.
It can be a little bit scary. We see that threats coming from both sides. That PouletSansTete here, able to. I probably would just set CUNY to AI1 and have him take out that picket, because otherwise you're just going to be have it do paper cuts at your familiar and annoy you that way. We saw that it was critting for 1 damage, so...
yeah, the weird part here is that pickets shouldn't really appear on floor 25. They do because of a quest in the game. There is supposed to be a special picket a blue one that appears on floor 25 and leaves an item. But for it to actually appear, you need to have started the quest, which they didn't. Oh, this room is scary. Oof.
Yeah.
Holy Bell, right away. That's what I would have done. No questions asked.
Yeah, even being neutral elemental with the snowmen here, still not a good idea to try to take on 2 snowmen and a zoo at the same time.
Yes.
You see the salamander here going to town on the snowmen while they're forced out of the room. He could easily have taken out that single snowman, being at neutral element with it, but if you're able to avoid conflict, why fight unnecessarily? You should be able to take out this Mandara here. I would not have set that to AI1. Yep.
Yeah.
Choosing to go back
34.
to AI3.
Still scary, though. Mandaras are not really tanky. They have very low health, so generally you will dispatch them quite easily. But it was not in a good position to actually kite it, and it actually only had to it once, but that once, oof.
Yeah. Here we see Poulet hitting a little bit of an elevator train, and he's building up a little bit of a lead. That's, Horza will still hit that same elevator train, but right now that is a 6th floor difference, which, while comfortable, of course, Poulet doesn't know where Horza is, and
I don't think Cuny survives that. Oh, he does.
Yeah. Water elemental.
I know, but it's probably super low. Yeah, 6 health. It was not so far. Yeah, Strayson Wave, absolutely. Orza is one of the slower player. I won't say slow because he, as a more defensive player, I might call it. He is actually really, really fast. But any defensive player will be slower than an aggressive one, obviously. So even though he is super experienced in the defensive play style, it will always put him on the back burner a little bit, unless there's so many bad situations on the other side.
Right.
But it does come in exchange for consistency. Whereas you're going to see Poulet being low health all the time and might end up in a bad situation because of it. You're never going to see that on Orza's side unless something really bad happen, which might, but yeah.
We see here Poulet deciding to use a binding ball for taking out that Neplus.
He hit it for 120 damage and was still alive. I hate those Napluses.
Yeah,
that might not even be a kill. Yeah, it's gonna need to kite once. That should be a kill.
Yeah, provided he doesn't miss, and he should have in the range of.
I would have hit. That would have done it. Yeah.
Yeah, but he knew that Cuny was low. Probably might not have been able to take a hit from Naplus in case of a rare miss, and nothing wrong with a little bit of safety.
Yes.
Still, I think has a decent number of charges on his balls. So.
Yeah, one of the flame or whatever balls add 7 charges at right off the bat, so that's really good. All right, that's probably
by Neplus. He should be fine here.
Yeah. What's the Wind Crystal? You don't care.
Yeah, don't be greedy. Don't go after those seeds.
Especially since one of them could be a Maniva. Just run away.
Yeah, I remember you. I think it was you who taught me a neat trick of being able to go out the door to a room. Boy, these Nepluses. I guess the elevators might be warm, or like the floor around them is warm, and so they like to nap there. But
comfy elevator. The scarier part of walking aside a sleeping Naplus is that every monster, when they wake up, it takes their turn, but not Napluses. Actually, they have an integrated attack on waking up. So even if they are sleeping and you just walk by, they might actually wake up and attack at the same time. That's not fun too. That's why it's always scary to go around them.
So a question here in chat for me as we see Poulet deal with the only portion of the story that you'll see, unless we hit floor 40. No, I do not know how far away monsters have to be from Coda spawn. I do know how frequently they spawn, which is somewhere between every 32 and 63 turns. But as far as...
That's actually much lower than it feels.
Oh, no, sorry. I may be... I'll double check the numbers on that. It could be between every 16 and 31 turns. That may be it.
Yeah, that makes sense as well. I mean, this is always... it always feels that you kill a monster and then 2 appears. But obviously this is skewed in the fact that we're always in bad situations. So that might not be a good representation of the actual numbers.
It's true.
Yeah, that's Tracy Wave. That's how it feels.
Well, there is a option in the randomizer to turn up item or monster spawns if you do really want to see what it feels like to play with a monster spawning every turn or so.
Yeah, we see that bad room on Orza's side. He's going to use Holy Bell as well. I feel that's absolutely the play.
Yep. He also gets a little bit of a nicer pattern where all 3 monsters choose to go for that right entrance, so he's able to go straight on up to the elevator that Mendar hasn't awakened, and he can move on to floor 27, tightening that gap a little bit, but Poulet is not letting up, moving up to 33 himself.
This run, man, this race so far is so crazy, actually. To believe that at 45 minutes, the lowest is only 28, which is absolutely nothing to scuff at. Oh, actually, I never saw when that happened, but Urza changed for Water Cuny as well.
Oh, well, now did he pick up the Stream Wand? Oh yeah, it looks like he's using it. You see from the top of the ball there that it's blue, so I think he's adopting the water strats himself. To answer a question here in chat, I thought I've seen a monster spawn in sight, but I thought it's been pretty rare. Generally, I think the game tries to avoid it. I'll have to look into that a little bit later. We see
so many questions for...
Sorry?
So many questions.
I'm always glad to answer where I know and to admit ignorance where I don't. Poulet rocketing on up to 34 here, taking on this dragon. That's not something you would normally see with a Fire Cuny, unless you were just really well leveled. We see that Poulet is on level 24, which is pretty much the one of the higher levels that you'd see. Manually moving Cuny away so you can reach the elevator no problem. Banana Choose, yes, this game is pretty cool. And the races are super hype. Glad you could join us. And make sure to stick around after this race because Game 2 and hopefully Game 3 are coming up.
Well, Game 2 is coming up because look at this room.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, might have an exit on the north side. Okay, did the other monsters sleep? That might be the thing though. So he might actually get out of this scot free. But oof, this room, man. My heart stopped for a second.
Well, I mean, with a sleeping maximum and the Brong, which I believe is also a fire elemental, being a Water Cuny that's decently high leveled, with a Stream Wand, so many good items he can't even fit it into his inventory, and just leaving the flame ball there.
One of the weird thing that you actually might not know, but you might not. Did you know that how lowdown works, right? When you use it in mixed magic, you can actually shoot thunder and lightning to deal damage from a range, right?
Yes, I did know that.
Okay. Did you know that actually the dormant spell of a Barong is poison? It is an innately fire spell. And the mixed version of that is the same as lowdown. This is the only instance in the game of 2 spell of 2 different elements having the same mixed magic.
Interesting. Well, We've
There's
got a
one.
question here in chat about asking if there's somewhere that someone who's new to this, seeing this for the first time, could find out more about the game. And the answer is absolutely. Sen Knight has kindly posted a link to our Discord. That's a fireball being out of charges does mean that he's going to have to do a little bit of kiting. I don't think he'll be able to take it out in one hit. Uses another fireball that one's also empty. Choosing to use a flame ball here. Yeah, I guess that was probably. Don't leave CUNY behind.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, our Discord is full of lively and fun people. We are a super chill community. If you want to come and join us and have some fun with us, we'll be more than happy to have you. You will be able to learn the game if that's what you feel like doing. You will be at least knowing when next matches are going to happen. You can chat about the game, discover it a little bit, find our our randomizer with all its new features, second tower and stuff like that. So feel free to join. We're always happy to have more people.
We see Poulet here doing a little bit of inventory management as he moves on to floor 39.
Oh, yep. 39. 39.
Yep.
And it is there. Floor 40.
In the elevator room. There, we have it.
Clear game. Wow. 49 minutes is actually crazy good for a tournament match. All right. So we'll let Orza know that actually this is match 1 is done. And we'll let probably Poulet deal a little bit with that cutscene at the end. 440 has no real battle. There is a battle, but you need to lose it to advance story. So yeah, this is actually match 1. I can't believe none of these players actually died. This game is supposed to be hard. Well, it is, but they are still both running.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they asked for a programmer seed this time. So I generated the seeds, and I guess the tower was a little bit nicer to them than usual. You even see a big Peter Fruit on Horse's side.
Nice.
But we see that the runners were also just rather skillful themselves.
Yeah, and programmer seed are so generous they even spawn extra items in the corridors.
Yep.
All right, so then PouletSansTete will actually slay Beldo, making sure that the storyline progress. So he's gonna use Little Soul Shooter, and this will he actually do it, or will he actually reset? I always appreciate the final cutscene where actually you see Ko and CUNY runs to the end of the world. But yeah, Orza is actually gonna reset and prepare for seed number 2. This has been a crazy match. Can't believe. I mean, obviously these are two really, really good runner. PouletSansTete and Orza are really, really good. They know what they're doing, and even though they have a very different play style, they both know how to react to the worst situation. And you've seen that today. And obviously this time, Poulet's aggressivity and quick play prevailed. But we also see Poulet lose CUNY pre-floor 10 often, so that might come into play, and that's why we actually have best of 3s. So don't go away. There is going to be at least another match, might be 2, going on today, and yeah, that's actually really cool. I can't wait to see that. Well, I think that the name today is going to be saying hi to programmer. First one was saying hi to me, which I appreciate. Hi, Orza. Yeah, wow, what a match.
Yeah, we see that looks like we're having a little bit of
oh yeah, the little problems we had earlier.
Yeah, let me I think Horse is gonna reload his seed here.
Okay.
let me go ahead and validate.
8834
yep.
on. Yeah.
Okay. Validated that Poulet's seed looks good here.
Yep, absolutely. So Orza's going to reset?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, there was some problems earlier on, but I think we are past the hurdle, so that's really nice to see that we can actually move on.
Yep. And we see that Horza's because of a little bit of difficulty, I accidentally loaded up the wrong seed, but we did catch it, and he is loading up seed number 2 here. We should be getting going shortly.
Oh yeah, PouletSansTete is already ready. This is where we started the game. We started outside Ko's house on first movement. So we're going to be starting really, really soon. Orza is just going to enter input name and show the seed so we make sure that it's on the right one. That is going to be fun because when you play from behind, Orza has been playing really, really conservative and making sure he takes his time. We might see a change in playstyle because he didn't lose because he did bad choice or that he played bad. He lost because he wasn't fast enough. And playing faster is riskier and more dangerous. And even though Poulet is super... he does that often and he knows how to play that, it wouldn't be as much as Orza's playstyle. So if you feel pressured to actually play faster, that's going to be really, really scary for somebody that actually plays more conservatively most of the time. So that could be a story for race number 2, or Orza is just going to continue with his playstyle and hope that Poulet makes a mistake, because with the riskier playstyle like Poulet does, mistakes will come more often. Didn't happen in race 1, but that might happen later on. So I guess that's what you'd see. That could be the 2 possibilities for this run this time.
Yep. We'll have a little bit of a slightly longer wait here. Poulet's emulator has crashed. We will
yeah, that does happen.
Reload that, and we will.
Yeah, that does happen from time to time. The fun thing is that it really happened not often. So we'll just wait for Poulet to actually reset things and make sure everything goes according to plan. And generally, once it's started, it very rarely have problems. But yeah, we'll just hope that it won't happen. Orza is in position then, so it's the opposite now. We'll just wait on Poulet to quickly patch things up. You very quickly saw our Discord. Please join. Here's a link to actually join our crazy community. We are super chill. We are super fun. We just like to talk about the game, do matches. If you just want to know when the next match is going to happen, you can just join our community for that. If you want to learn one of both games, so I see in chat that they are talking about the Game Boy Color version as well. So you can make sure you join that as well, just to learn one of the 2 games. We have resources. We're always happy to answer questions. This community is growing super fast, and it's all thanks to you. We're probably closing in 400 members for 2 games that are supposed to be really niche. This is incredibly big for a game such as this. But I guess the tournament has helped a lot. It's our 3rd tournament already, and we're not stopping and not even slowing down. There's going to be more coming up. We already have a few ideas for the next ones. Can't wait to see these. And seed 8834 is right, and Poulet will be able to set up and be outside of Ko's house. We will be starting soon.
Yep,
we're so very sorry for this. Sorry.
Countdown here.
Oh, good. Yeah, so sorry for the small time loss here. It does happen. Tournaments is not an easy thing to set up, and technical problem will happen. But we're going to get past that really quickly. Don't you worry. And we're going to deliver that cool Azure Dream action you're all waiting for.
Yep. So we've given the countdown. The runner should be off here momentarily as soon as the stream delay catches up here. And,
Yes, exactly.
So now I have to ask you, Sen Knight, what are you
Yes.
expecting to see in Game 2? Are you expecting to see Horza change up his style a little bit? I mean, we see that
the
right
enter
away
house
he
of shame,
is retreating, deciding to go home, say goodbye to his mom one last time. He forgot to do it before, so gotta do it now.
I was gonna say Horza is a stubborn player, so I'm not sure he will actually change playstyle. But entering back in the home could show some kind of a jitter. That might not be it. I mean, you only as much as press up a little bit and you're back into the house. But I mean, it could show some kind of pressure. You say hi, chat. Oh, that's so neat. But yeah,
and Hypergy here from Horza. Perhaps he's hoping that he's able to get a lucky seed this time, but one that maybe plays to his strengths and doesn't get a stream wand or something like that, which would help out Poulet with the playstyle that he's adopted, going for the water CUNY.
Yes, so water CUNY definitely was king during last runs and the last few runs we did. I think this is going to become really quickly a staple as we see more clear using that strategy. But yeah, this definitely was one of the big differences in playstyle, and it's actually brand new. Due to some damage calculation, we always thought that increasing spell level would actually make you really stronger, and it actually makes sense because every time CUNY gained a level, it became much stronger. But it's actually due to co-attack power increasing and becoming a multiplier in the damage calculation that it gets stronger. So the first 9 to 10 level is huge on CUNY, but then past that, it's really, really little. So changing elements is not really detrimental at all.
Yeah, after a certain point, it's the difference between getting 1/2 of the magic damage and then 2/3 and then 3/4 and 4/5. You can see that it does peter out there.
Yeah.
So the runners here, coming back, again, they're going to be looking to explore this floor. You can see that even though Horse has found the elevator, he's going to be looking around, trying to get some resources. Holy Scroll, that's a nice find. Starglass is always welcome. Being able to scout out a whole floor, might hold on to them for a later floor, so he's able to not have to fight quite so much and able to pick a more careful route to the elevator.
Yeah, I agree. The Starglasses you generally would like to keep for a bad floor. Now, the definition of bad floor is different from player to player, so seeing when they're going to use that might actually show what they fear, what they really don't want to see. Finding one very early, I would use it on floor 9 to get to 10 as quick as possible and avoiding those U-boats. Obviously, on the Pickett's floor, on the Kraken's floor, you could see that. And then, well, every time after that, because every floor after that is really scary. Yeah. But I guess that's where I would use it. Floor 9 would be my guess, unless I find an elevator room really quickly or during spinning animation. I would use a glasses there.
Right. We saw Poulet decide to pick up a leather shield here. Leather shield actually does have less defense than your starting wood shield. However, it does give you improved dodge chances. We see Poulet, threatening the Palumpa a little bit before actually attacking it, doing a little warning shot. That Palumpa didn't back off, and so he had to fight it off there.
Yes. Just finishing on the leather shield, the increase in dodge is not insignificant either. If I remember correctly from the number, dodge chance on Kosite is around about 4%, and if you equip a leather shield, it triples up at around about 12. This is crazy, the increase, like tripling your dodge chance. Even though 12% might not be good enough, so you could like bank on it saving you. In the long run, like when the enemies hit you for 75, what is a few point of defense going to change? Pretty much nothing. But a dodge will prevent 70-something damage, so...
Right, like on a dragon, for sake of example, has a 98.67% chance of hitting you without a leather shield, but only has an 84.67% chance with a leather shield. So, up to when you're on the later floors, where you're going to generally be trying to avoid fights, that's not a bad thing to do. We see here Poulet taking out the flame first over the cyclone. Definitely the right call, because with the cyclone, it was at both an elemental and height disadvantage. And the height disadvantage is comparable, to the elemental advantage. The elemental disadvantage is a little bit more, but he was obviously able to tank those hits without any problem.
Yeah, CUNY was only taking 1 damage there, so absolutely no danger. But yeah, the flame was actually hitting for 4, so you want to make sure that CUNY doesn't get too low, so it can still take a trap or something. And go up trap. So go up trap are super fun to see, except on floor 1 to 5, which is where you're actually going to grind to get some good gear and find some good stuff. I think most of floor 4 was explored, so it's not as bad. But after that, you'll always take a go up trap, because you just want to get out of all of these floors as quickly as you can.
Yeah, and the task even decides to take them because they're faster than going up an elevator. You gotta save those frames.
Yep, the elevator will ask you if you want to save in between floors. Go up trap don't, so you actually do save a little bit of time taking the go up trap. The animation is also faster, so you do save there as well. I guess it could be argued, though, that you don't want to find a go up trap on floor 12, right?
Yeah, because you're going to miss out on, or potentially miss out on, that blue color, and especially if you want to fuse into CUNY, either to give him some boosted trait, or to change his element to water if you didn't find a sea seed. Not having that blue color can be quite a problem. I mean, that's no guarantee that it will still spawn. If we have a item room, I think that can override it. And we saw Horza hitting that same go-up trap. That's the beauty of a de-randomized game. We know that depending on what side they approach from, they're quite likely to hit the same things. It's just a question of how they choose to deal with those.
Yeah, exactly. So there was no real advantage on the go up trap or disadvantage. They actually both hit them, and they both had explored pretty much all the floor before they did. So that's always a good thing. But yeah, that could have been worse than it actually ended up being. So it's not too bad. They will move on. Level 5 on floor 5 is generally what you want to see, especially because moving on floor 6 is going to be a little bit different. Floor 6 is scary enough that they will try to just find the elevator and run away. And it'll be through for floor 6, 7, 8, and 9. So you will end up being on floor 9 very low level, because you'll fight much less. And this is so scary that to a point you will try to grind back when you get to floor 10, but on floor 9, this is just hell. You're very low level, every enemy is still really dangerous, and you cannot really realistically grind. They're not worth good enough XP, and they're really tough to fight. So yeah, getting level 5 now is really important. Level 6 could be even better, but realistically they won't get to level 7 unless they are stuck in so many battles that they actually need to.
Now, interesting choice there. We saw that Poulet changed CUNY to AI1 so he would stay in place and attack, but didn't move back himself, which could have been helpful to help kite that Maneuver. We can see that he's in no danger for not having done it, but he could have taken 1 fewer hit, potentially, if he had done that to kite that Maneuver a little bit further. Does pick up that Gulf Wind sword.
It would have been to the expense of 1 extra MP, though. I guess that's the reasoning. I generally am not the biggest of fans of AI1 strat when I can take a few extra damage. I prefer to trade my health instead of MP. But this is very arguable. I mean, I've seen very, very good player do the exact opposite of me. Orza would be a good contender for that. Shawnee and Chet as well. And they both realize as well that my strategy works well. It's not a question of what I do is better. It's a question like what I do is what I'm good at, and that's what I want to practice, and that's my take on how the game is played. They have theirs, and I've seen them succeed as well. So I know that both can be done. But it's just like you said, it's always come back down to that. There are many ways to see this game, and you can be creative and show your personality through gameplay in this game, which is not necessarily true for any other speedrun.
Yeah, quite right. And we see, in terms of choices, we see that Horse's chosen to equip that wooden wand, getting a little bit more damage output with that wand multiplier on mixed magic. Not enough to take out that Maneva in just 2 hits, but
actually very
still
close to. I think it was
Yeah.
1 health away.
Meanwhile, Poulet running with a full copper set. He did also put that Gulf Wind Sword into his bag. I don't know that he's necessarily going to equip it. It would be a Wind Elemental Sword, and he may just be holding on to that to throw. That's not a room I'd like to be in.
Oh,
2
no.
balloons, a U-boat, and a Sleeping Bloom.
And only 1 exit.
Yeah.
They're
thankfully
all
the
coming down for him.
Yeah. He's
Oof,
not
they're
gonna
both
walk
in the same
here.
room. Oh, very good shenanigans on Orza's side, though. Wow.
Choosing to use CUNY as a bit of a distraction. He can always then bag CUNY before leaving, and ensure that he's able to get away scot-free. Very nice play from Horza there. I like that very much.
Can you still bag it? No, it's too far.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he
you're-
did it one time too many. And he lost CUNY to that. When you leave the room, it's too far gone.
Yep, the hallway is considered to be outside the room, so
Oh,
now, I
that
do
was
know that
only a
Horza-
2-room floor.
yeah, which is tough because all those monsters are going to be divided up between the 2 rooms. Now, while it's true that you do have fewer initial spawns, potentially, but that's not fun. Horza is, however, you mentioned in the first race that there are some advantages to going familiarless insofar as you're not going to be taking on enemies quite so much, so you can speed ahead a little bit. If you do take on enemies, the experience won't be divided between you and your familiar. And you do have an opportunity to get familiar again, either by finding a nice egg and hatching it. Obviously Horza did pick up an egg on this floor. Could have been something nice like a clown.
Oh yeah,
Or,
that could have been a clown or a U-boat or a bloom. There's a few good mon. It could be a good monster. Can I still get a few Fs in chat to pay respect for losing CUNY? I think CUNY worked well and really saved the Ko's skin on this one, so I think it deserves it.
Yeah, you got an F from me there.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's gonna be very interesting to see the difference in both these players. I'd feel that Poulet would have been in this situation more often than Orza did. Like I said, Orza is a very consistent player. This one, I feel like he knows he's goofed up, but that's such a weird situation you don't get to see often. That he probably didn't know where the leash would be too long, that he actually lost control over CUNY. And he just went a little bit too far, a little bit too greedy on this one. He was out of the room.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say he was out. He was gonna be out of the room. That extra step on CUNY's side was not necessary. He just wanted to make some distance, which obviously is quite clever. But losing CUNY to this is just very sad. Having a new egg might actually be very good on this side, though. If he gets the chance to get some time to hatch that could be big.
Yeah, I think it was just because he stepped into the doorway itself that does count as being outside the room,
Yes.
and so thus you lose your tether. Ice Rock Ball, absolutely a great play, rather than trying to take on those blooms, but it does produce that lovely sound that we're hearing now as Horza finds his way up to the elevator as those blooms just take out all their frustration on that wall of ice.
Yep, absolutely. No rest for the wicked. Orza cannot seem to. Oh, warp trap at least. Orza cannot
Yeah,
seem to find a little bit of a reprieve to take the time to hatch his egg. Yeah, that's gonna be scary. Poulet's taking a lot of damage, but at least can fight back. Which Orza absolutely can't. Um, that's a big difference. And the biggest thing is, like I said, you arrive on floor 10 around about level 6, which is exactly that. Poulet managed to grind back to level 9, and so he is in a really good shape. Like I said last race, that's the level I want to be in on floor 10, level 9. But then Orza is not only moving forward, but he's moving forward, making every enemy stronger, and he's not leveling up anymore. So now he is super squishy.
yeah. When the blooms were busy, showing their antipathy towards ice, he could have actually taken that time to heat up the egg some. But as
Sure.
you mentioned, now he doesn't have that luxury. Thankfully, that trap didn't proc, so he's able to sneak past these sleeping trolls at least a little bit. These are bowgun trolls, so they
Yes.
can hit from a range, and without a familiar to potentially soak up some damage.
Oof.
Hitting for
Oof.
8. Ouch. And 10. Ooh, he does not have many more hits, and looks like a troll's coming from the other side. He's going to have to do something here, but
Yes.
the Ice Rock Ball, I don't know that that's going to actually distract a troll, because...
If it gets in melee with it, yes.
Yeah, maybe if it gets in melee, and he's here putting it right between, so it is going to distract that troll, but otherwise... these bowgun trolls have no trouble ignoring the fact that they're confused to perfectly snipe Ko. Meanwhile, using a fireball charge on this other
Oh, level 6 is not
enough
enough.
to take it out, because those spell balls do have their level determined by Ko's level times 4 up to a max of 99.
That
think
level
probably
7 is actually going to be huge, because it might make it so the fireball kills next time. And so you can actually get a little bit of level up. But that's not a point in the game in which you should be using ball charges. That's part of the game where you should be recharging your item for the next big part. That's going to be scary. And he's using them like all the time, which is the right decision. That's what he needs to do. But the fact that he's actually emptying his inventory instead of actually building one up is very scary for the later floors.
Yeah, we see here Poulet fumbling around in the dark, looking for items, and thankfully he is at a reasonably high health, as was CUNY, but it looks like he was in a trap room there.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a trap room.
So I haven't seen a blue color here on Poulet's side. He is on floor 12 where it does spawn, so he probably would be looking for that again. Yep, don't want AI 5. You don't want to CUNY burning all his MP.
Oof.
Thankfully, that that Ice Rock Ball definitely coming in clutch to prevent that Griffin from hitting Horzu with a rise, able to pick it up and leave. But you're right, this has been very costly in terms of ball charges.
Ooh. And the trap on top of everything, just making sure to add insult to injury. Yeah, Orza is actually playing very well considering how bad the tower is on his behind. But yeah, definitely Poulet is taking a lead, and he's gonna take a commanding lead starting from now, unless something bad happens on his side.
Right.
I guess
We'll
he's
see.
gonna take the time to hatch. That's what I think he needs to do, because, I mean, it is time consuming, and if you get a bad pet, then that's really, really time lost for no reason. Oh, he's not even gonna. Wow. Okay, so loco it is.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he'll find a restore scroll. I didn't see what scroll that was that Poulet just picked up. He, Oh, and Poulet
Oh.
has lost CUNY as well. Oh,
So scratch
it was a
everything I
restore
said.
scroll.
Oh,
So,
nice.
I guess that's one substitute for Familiar Bell. You can have your Familiar die and then restore it.
Yep, that works as well. Oh, Orza obviously not even gonna bother to get the blue collar. So why fuse two pet when you don't even have one, I guess?
Yep. Now, was that on floor 13 or 14 that Poulet
14.
picked up that? Okay, so
Pretty sure that was 14, so Orza shouldn't get past that. If he gets the restore scroll and they actually are both on floor 14 at the same time, yeah, that should be it. There we go. I guess he's really happy to see that.
yeah, I can hear Horza saying thank you.
You gotta admit though, it's true that he doesn't get much damage from leveling up past level 10, but I don't know what level CUNY is. It's probably pretty low. Yeah, it's level 5. So you might feel that, yeah, I have CUNY back, I can fight. Well, not that much yet. It's still really scary. It won't do much damage, especially with a 1-1. And he loses CUNY again!
I don't think he got warped too terribly far, but
sure.
that's still not what you want to see when CUNY's on 15 HP.
He changed for AI 2 instead of 1. What is he doing?
He's gunning for the elevator.
And he lose CUNY.
That was a risk. Not a risk I would have taken. Especially as he saw how far away the elevator was, knew how many turns it would take to get over there. That was, some 30-odd turns. Didn't look like it. Oh!
Poulet got his pet stolen by a Garuda. What's this seed? What have you done, programmer?
Well, you see, there was originally a different seed too, but one of the runners have trouble with it, and so I guess
if this continues, the chat will only be Fs. That's only going to be Fs all over. You just keep on getting new pets and losing them as well. We're on the F volume 4, Jin Freak. Keep up. Try to keep up.
Yeah, wow. And having to put down that big PETA, that's, those don't spawn very often. And wow. Well, at least they're on even footing to a degree. But, Poulet does have a 2-level advantage. He does have a little bit of a better inventory, not having to use so many charges. I would have probably picked up the Shomuro seed and put it in my bag before continuing.
Yes.
Even
Maybe
if it's only one defense.
Though.
Sorry?
Unless he has a full inventory, in which case you cannot put it in your bag. I don't know if he has, but that would be the only reason I see didn't pick it up.
You're right. He did have to, do a little bit of inventory management. Ooh, that's Troll Sword hitting for decent chunk of damage because it does ignore shields.
Oh, okay. This seed is becoming crazy real fast. So Orza actually has taken the lead. Poulet has fought back for it, but right now Orza still have a small lead, so 1 floor. That's not big, but they are entering Pickett's floor, which is going to be scary in and of itself.
Oh yeah, without a familiar.
Yeah, Pickets will fight your familiar and lose to it because they're so weak. But if they have the chance to actually get melee with you, which will happen all the time, obviously there's no pet to protect you, then this time they will try to steal your stuff and all that beautiful inventory they have, which is the only thing they have left. It's going to be for nothing if they... Oh, but Orza did not catch up a lot of the balls for PouletSansTete as, so I feel like there could be an advantage there as well. Orza's inventory looks scarcer, and like I said, he did use a lot more resources, but even then.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Also, Orza has kept the copper shield, not switching to the leather shield like Poulet. I definitely would have, time like this where you may have to count on a lucky dodge, probably switched over to that. Saving a hit could be a real big difference here. Thankfully, that Hammer Troll only at level 2, so he's able to take it out.
The luckiest warp trap in the world! Wow! That was interesting.
Thank you, Warp Trap.
Wow, okay. He was gonna get it only the once, but still, that's just like, nope, not even getting it once.
So now we'll have to see could be very likely that Poulet hits that same warp trap, and because they'll have taken probably different numbers of steps, RNG will be at different points, and it very easily could be nowhere near as kind.
Yeah, exactly.
This
I was
could be
gonna say there's not a lot of chance it's better than the one we just saw. So
yeah,
ish. Yep, and it's right in the path you need to take to get to the elevator. So okay, Orza's problem with pickets is gonna come to an end. There could be lose Peter Fruit. He doesn't even care. He doesn't have a pet. Malicious Scroll. That's bad, but I guess he's fine. You won't see any more pickets unless maybe on 25 with the rare spawn. And just that is a good thing. Everything else is super scary, but pickets, losing your inventory is so worse.
Yeah. Also, I didn't see if Horza picked up the Holy Scroll that returning. I thought he had a scroll there, but choosing to return CUNY home.
And he didn't get hit by the warp trap. He's off of 17.
Yeah, that is nice. Trap scroll not at all useful. Just taking the elevator straight on up to 22. Horza building on his lead a little bit. As I've said before, Horza can be comfortable running CUNY-less. I've seen him go quite a distance without CUNY, so...
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, Poulet perhaps choosing to do a little bit... saying not to do any inventory management. I always like to keep an empty slot if possible, just so that way I can, if I need to escape a room, but also pick up a nice item along the way, maybe reach out and grab it and put it in, which would not be possible if you have full inventory.
Yeah. I agree. That's a really good idea to have. Sometimes I forget, but when I think about it, I always just make sure that I do have at least one inventory space free. This may be huge. You find a restore scroll or a holy scroll or something like that. It's always nice to know that you can pick it up without losing a turn. There are actually quite a few actions you can do that doesn't cost your turn, and knowing them and how you can use them is one of the biggest thing in this game. Optimizing every turn so you can actually sometimes do 2 or 3 things before enemy moves, because 2 of the 3 action you did it actually has no cost. This is absolutely huge, and fighting against a spider, a spooper like I like to call them. And he's gonna get pincered because Blinder's gonna be it's gonna save the day here.
Right, but you're entirely right. You recognizing that when you go ahead and throw an enemy, it's going to continue in the direction that it was facing.
Yes.
So it's going to be heading right back towards him. We'll see if he goes for the pickup on the Viper here, or decides to use a ball charge. Yep, going for
binding.
Ball charge, and then just stepping right around that Viper. Is using a Holy Bell.
Yes.
Rather than building up that monster train, because Holy Bells work in rooms, not in hallways, and if you need to get away quickly, you would not be able to do so. Bypassing the glasses there, so he doesn't have to deal with that zoo, I think it was. Checking, seeing it's a trap scroll, nothing good here. Showing his displeasure, taking it out on the... And zooming on up as Horza hits the go up trap to 25.
Yeah, so this is where the game slows down a little bit. They didn't get as much of a elevator train after the one they actually got on 21. Okay, that's a stealth. And that stealth is going to be a problem. Okay, ouch.
Oh! That is not fun. I guess he'll have an invisible friend.
Yes, invisible friend.
Some kids have an imaginary friend. Horus has got an invisible one.
No, at least this one exists.
Yeah, it's true.
Yowza. Okay, that's gonna be scary. I don't think he's gonna win this duel. Oh, he might. Yes.
Yep.
Oh, and he gets the kill even. 600 XP for himself. So if your friends you make with Holy Scroll gets the kill, which is most likely, you actually won't get the experience. It will get it. It's not necessarily a real partner. It gets his own XP. But yeah, he was a frog.
Yeah. But it's...
Oh, and
What?
he loses the stealth to trap. The stealth is dead.
I was like, how does
yeah.
a trap proc with nothing to trigger it? Well, there was something to trigger it.
Yep, the stealth did trigger it. He says, they say F in chat for the stealth. Oh, yep, I 100% agree. Okay, 2 scrolls is really interesting. Malicious is a good find. Nothing crazy,
Yeah.
but it's Decurse, we don't care as much.
But at least putting it in your inventory doesn't take a turn.
Yes.
So
I would scout that leather shield since I have that Decurse scroll, though.
yeah, it's true.
Okay.
Also,
egg.
switching inventory doesn't do it. Palumpa able to take out that.
Yep, level
Mandara,
66 Palumpa seems to be able to one-shot a Mandara.
Yep. Meanwhile, Poulet also taking a Gope Trap to floor 25. One that was scouted for him by another monster. Horse, meanwhile, finding an elevator right near the spawn, heading up to 27. We're getting high, folks, but this is, as you mentioned, there's going to be quite a bit of slowdown. Only one entrance out of this room. Sleep Trap.
And a
causing...
stealth.
Yes.
Okay, can we take a second to actually to actually make sure that we understand how crazy what's happening is? So first seed was really gentle, good items. CUNY was there all along. They trucked their way all to the top of the tower, which is in and of itself quite a feat. But now they are actually fighting back the tower and actually making progress in a tower where they didn't have CUNY for many a turn, many a floors. This is so incredible to see that in action. I mean, these runners are doing it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people who could make it as far as they have. I know myself, I don't think I've gotten up to level 28 or floor 28 on even the more gentle seeds, so this is definitely good.
Oh yeah, this game is no joke.
I am not sure about that play there. I would have let that Mandara take the left path and not have to use a blinder ball charge. I know that Horza really likes this blinder ball.
Okay, I think he needs to scout the yep. Oh damn. Oh, that's not good. I was gonna say he needs to scout it just in case, but I was wrong. That's not good.
Yep.
And there might be another one as well.
Very well could be. Thankfully,
Oof, there it is. Yeah, and it's in a bad spot, so it's actually covering every possible... Oh, that's not good.
So, chooses to turn it wind. Okay. That's
Fireball?
Yeah. Oh,
nothing happens, though.
And he could... each one of these times he's doing an action, that Mandara could have had a 1 in 8 chance of hitting him using the acid rain ball to clear the room. Is nice, but
yeah, but it didn't clear. That's not enough.
Yeah, now he's just trying to huck stuff at it to be able to take it out.
What is he doing? Oh, okay.
He is using the fact that when you create the malicious scroll there, that Dark Ring does put down essentially a confusion trap. That's a very clever play.
Yep. That might be the thing that actually saved his ass, because I was gonna say he's in trouble. Oof. All right.
Yeah. That. So, 29. Meanwhile, Poulet starting at that same dead end room, getting warped over. Warp trap's not so bad when you're flying solo. Does end up at a white sand, increase one of the charges on his balls, choosing to use it on the acid rain ball. Could definitely be a nice option. Getting the pickup on the zoo. And
I agree. Increase this balls. The balls needed to do the pickup on that zoo was it required quite a bit of I don't know what to call that. Yeah. He needed to make sure that he could have been hit for so much damage, or being paralyzed would have been worse. And the pincer in between two zoos. It took cojones to do that, and obviously, if anybody's gonna do that, that's gonna be Poulet. But oof.
Yeah.
And 31, we see Beldo on Orza's side. We're gonna get some little bit of lore. I can absolutely make sure that you understand the story so far. So, Co's father is dead. You climb into the tower. Beldo is an ass. You fight him on 440. So that's pretty much the storyline, right? But he comes on 431 to taunt you, telling you that you should reach floor 40 and meet him for real. So this is just a projection. Yeah. That's one way to see it. And you continue to live in your dirty hovel, yes.
The Nebulous looked like it was spinning around there for a moment. Wasn't quite clear what was happening there on Poulet's side.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Looks like Horus is going for the pickup on the Tyrant. As you reach these higher floors, one of the very few enemies that you are able to pick up.
And Poulet just actually cleared the room with the Manivas. There was one in the room, but it was much more evident which one it was. And the room was kinder on general. He actually cleared it without having been hit once.
Yeah. Just proof that the way the runners play these seeds and how long they take can cause the floors to play out a little bit differently, even if they start out exactly the same on the same RNG sequence even.
Yes.
Of course, finding the elevator, making up to 32, but Poulet is not letting up, coming onto 30 himself, hitting the elevator, choosing not to take it because there's an egg. Probably not going to hatch that, but could be nice for an egg bomb. Yeah, stray sine wave. I agree entirely. On 32 and 31 respectively, without CUNY and not having had CUNY for quite some time, regardless of who takes this one, both runners will have played this quite well.
Oh, absolutely. This is the kind of race that Maids of Legend. I mean, this is a race that's going to be spoken of for quite a long time, I think. Wow, so far I'm just amazed. So 32 on Orza's side, 31 on PouletSansTete. Like you said, this is not only that they are actually alive, but it's also that they are so close to one another. So they're both on floor 32 right now for a short time, but you know, a small I-5 before Orza actually takes the lead again.
Yep. And I will say that it's also nice that they do have a decent level, being on level 17 each. That's not going to allow them to take on any sort of direct confrontation, but it does matter for spell balls and to a lesser extent for egg bombs.
Yes.
And I guess if you happen to get hit by a breath from a confused dragon, you're able to tank that just that littlest bit better.
Yeah, well, the fact that they have 70-something HP means they can take 2 breath. So that's actually really interesting to get. Lower level, dying to 2 breath is so scary anyway. You don't want to see that. And what was in the egg? A stealth. Oh, that's really not good.
Yeah, thankfully he did have an extra space.
Do we get an F in chat for the death of the stealth?
Oh, well then. We see that Poulet taking the Glacier Express over to that room using a binding ball on the dragon to be able to pass by without having to pay the toll. That's not a toll that I'd want to pay.
Yeah, it's kind of expensive.
Some 40 HP.
Oof. Oh, Balloon actually does it. Orza is alive. Wow. Okay, that dragon encounter was getting scary real fast.
Yeah, but does... Yep.
Yep, Blinder's gonna save him. He actually, putting himself in line with the Glacier was fine because it wasn't a road yet, but it's always scary to be in a straight line with them. So you can use your balls, you know that they can actually snipe you before. And with 20-something HP, Orza was gonna die from that curling shot, so...
Yep, and
he's fine. And they both get into 34 at the same time. Ooh! And this is the moment where the music is getting really interesting as well. It's really intense. It's gonna slow down floor 35, but yeah, this run, man.
Yeah, so close indeed.
Oof, 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 oof. No, no. And Orza's dead.
Not like this.
But more importantly, Orza got 434 like a second before Poulet did. So it is really Oh, but he gets to 35, and we have a set and match, guys.
All right, I will let our runners know.
Oh man. Oof. What a set of matches. This is crazy. All right, so Poulet actually take it to but this does not reflect the matches I've seen. This was so clutch, so incredible. I'm really happy to have been seeing these match. Can we get some real Fs in chat for Orza? He played like a madman, and he really gave Poulet a run for his money. I'm utterly impressed by both these runners, honestly. Oh yeah, or some GGs at worst as well. Wow.
So we are going to let Poulet attempt to get to 40
nice.
if that's all right with Orza. Usually, if they're pretty
so
close,
yeah. Oh, he might do it. 37, there's only 3 floors to clear. So 37, 38, and 39. You don't need to clear 40. Oh, that's a bad room to start in, though. At least... Oh, no. Okay, the Glaciers is awake. That's the worst part. Everything else was fine, but the Glacier is really bad. Speaking of very bad.
Yeah. I'm going to go on mute here so I can type in her spoiler channel to the runners.
All right. Ouch. And the Curling Express taking you all the way up there. And since it's a road now, it can actually shoot you from far away, which is the scariest part. So you try to not be in a straight line with them. Oh, but he's going to be fine. He is fine. All right, 38. Wow. Okay. There's only 2 floors to go. Again, not a good room to start in. Oh, that's not too bad. Okay. He doesn't get, and he gets it. That's fine. 39. Ooh, I mean, he's trying to regenerate HP. If it comes into play, then I'm much more impressed, Poulet. All right, starting in the same room as a dragon. He's got the resources. The scary part is definitely like he's so low level. He needs to do binding if there's still a charge.
Yeah. I didn't happen to see if he used his other acid rain ball charge, which
one of the balls
what you want to use now, but
the other one should be fine. Okay, doesn't want to get stuck between that and the maximum. I get that, makes sense. Oh, this is oof. This is oof. Okay, blinding ball is going to come into play now that he has a square difference between himself and the dragon. Because if you do it in melee, you get it. And this is floor 40. 2 times in a row. PouletSansTete, your champion for this match. Incredible.
Yeah, that was... And with, I mean, granted, this was skipping the tutorial text, but with
oh yeah,
43 on the clock.
That is actually a really good time.
Right, but Horza gave him quite a run for his money.
Oh yeah, they were neck and neck.
Granted, Poulet didn't know exactly how close things were, and the fact that Horza had a substantial lead. We're hearing a little bit of back and forth from the runners. We'll see if they're going to do a friendly third. We're gonna have give them perhaps a little bit of time to stretch, get all of the clear their mind a little bit, and perhaps reset.
Did you ask them if they were open to do it?
Yeah, yes. They're was asking for a little bit of a break
a little bit of time. All right. So if you have to refresh your drink or take a small bio break, please do. We will still be running a third match, but we'll take a little bit of 2 minutes to make sure that our runners are ready for that match as well. And make sure you be back because even though this is decided and the match is done, you really want to see more of these two runners go at it. I don't know how they will tackle the friendly third, but it's always going to be interesting, even if they decide to do more of a meme run, if they go serious, or if they go glitch entry. Can't wait to see these two runners actually run again. That was so entertaining today.
Oh yeah, that definitely was. Yeah, Jelly Mr. Doom. I definitely sometimes wonder exactly what you had in those eggs, whether they were, just a troll or something a whole lot beefier. And you mentioned about glitched entry. So if you like to see the runners being terrified of everything as they have to fight without a familiar, glitched entry is the way for you. Now, with the derandomizer and the settings that we have where we skip a whole lot of the tutorial floor, we don't happen to see CUNY's long dialogue and his insults about your home and his explanations about everything in the game. But glitched entry is a way of getting into the tower where you bypass CUNY. You say hi to him a little bit as you enter the tower, and then so long, sucker, as you continue without him, and fight solo. So,
yes. And what's crazy now is that on the leaderboard for any percent, what's being really different in the last few months, some runners have been tackling tower using glitch entry, but not just for fun or for funsies. They actually tried that for world record, and two of them have been really consistent at doing it. Orzo is being one of them. Baldwin is the other. I feel there might be a third. But I mean, right now, world record and second place is held by people that actually do glitch entry. So they clear the tower on first go with world record time, never having had CUNY. So obviously, this is not something to try out if you're starting. You should probably just try to aim and do a time and then beat that PB every time. But yeah, they have transcended some kind of thing that even me, I don't think could hope to ever beat. This is such low times, like clearing that whole game in 43 minutes, I think is the world record. And never having CUNY in the whole process is just, wow, this is crazy.
Oh yeah, let me see if I can get that time here.
Yeah, I have it on, and it's 34:07 by Baldwin, and second place is by Wooga for 36:22. And a few seconds later, it's actually my turn, my run, but my run had a Garuda, and both of them didn't.
Yes. So we saw the Garuda come into play a little bit where it decided to abscond with Poulet's familiar, taking it away, acting like a monster that's also a warp trap. I don't know how much it can get that much scarier, but it's does have a feature that if you were to use that abductability on yourself, you can yourself just zip around, warping from room to room. It's no guarantee that you'll end up even in a different room or a better position, but you will end up on a different square, which can let you zip around and potentially get some pretty good times.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For a while, it was so much of a big difference that we decided to split leaderboard with using it and not using it. We are considering actually removing that difference now that the best runs in both categories doesn't use Garuda anyway. So I don't feel like it's as relevant as it used to be. But this is some kind of an artifact of a few months ago where runs were really different. But right now they have done something so incredible that beating a Garuda time Garuda less is just, yep, that's crazy. And both runners are going back into the game and making sure they're going to do a friendly third. I don't know how they will tackle this, but we will see that right from the bat. I agree. They will absolutely show you what kind of gameplay they're going for, meme or serious or glitch entry, which is super serious. Let's call it that. They both have same seed, so they can actually move on to the
I've
next
let them
step.
know that we've validated the seed, and
Nice.
they will go ahead and name themselves. As Shawnee has pointed out before when commentating, it's nice that we can have a little bit of time to name yourself first off. If you're going with the timing method used by the community, the naming takes place. The naming takes place before time even starts for yourself, and when you name your familiar, it doesn't take that much time. And because text advances one line at a time, there's no real time lost there.
SKY Happy Mask Maker is SK's for me and night, so I guess that every time something in this community bad happens, it always seems to be my fault for some reason. Even though I have nothing to do with the seeds that was made today, it was programmers that made them. They always seems to find a reason, like they're gonna say it's my fault because I wasn't commentary, I guess. And so SKY as being as being some kind of a meme in the community, and I'm quite okay with it. I find that funny every time, anyway. So, yep. If it's somebody's fault, it's probably mine anyway. And what do we get on Orza's side? We can see the hamster spinning in his head, and obviously, it's gonna be Sandy. All right, that works.
And a music note for extra cuteness.
Oh yeah. Oh, I like it. Thank you, Orza. Recur's founder's name. Yep, absolutely. All right, so Orza is going to skip the intro using, again, the randomizer made by programmer. So there should be an introduction where you understand what kind of life you had to lead before you actually turned 15 and had the ability to go to town. And you can see that before the first text box, it skips everything, and we are ready to start. So we will do countdown, and just after countdown, there will be start. Again, if they go right off the east and then right north to the tower, then that's fine. That's going to be a normal run. But if they go right and to the east and actually skip entering the tower, they're going to do, and again, Orza want to say hi to his mom. So, my mom, thanks for everything. I'm going to go to the tower now. And
although Poulet was a little bit of a tree hugger there, had to show his love for nature by smashing his face into a tree for a good 2 seconds, running around like a chicken without a head.
Damn, yep. Movement outside the tower is hard. Okay, I'm gonna defend these guys a little bit at least. SKY. So because that's fine. I like that. And I like that. At least there's an answer to SKY this time.
And we see, goody. Let's go with that. Oh, goody. Sorry, the Happy Mask Maker. You're right. Tree love is just as valid. And I will retract my statements. All right.
Oh, yeah.
You see, they're picking up that starting kit here. Copper sword, wooden shield, fireball with 5 charges, an egg that will be a different color for the 2 runners, contains a palumpa. You know the drill by now, and that medicinal herb.
Yes. So we are all about love in our community. So if you want to join that Discord link, you can see in chat right now. Like you said, we never shame. We only ever fight together against the tower. That's what we do. If you want to be part of that battle, even if it's only by watching matches or maybe trying it out for yourself, maybe speedrunning it, we will always have a place for you in our community. It's not only for speedrunners, it's for everyone that loves this game, or the Game Boy Color version, and Steel Shield right off the bat.
Yeah, leaving that Earth Shield behind. Nobody needs that Earth Shield. you may say there's no earth element in this game. Well,
Nope.
that's the wind elemental shield. It is not the greatest in some cases because you will take extra damage from bomb traps, which are fire elemental. Just like it's advantageous to have a water familiar on later floors, being extra weak to fire on those higher floors if you were to get a cursed shield and no decur scroll is just not what you'd want to see.
Yeah, and also every range ability in this game that deals damage is fire. So having an Earth Shield, you'll take extra damage from these ones as well. That does even include the Troll Bowguns. Having Earth Shield is really, really scary in a lot of these situations. Obviously, the bomb traps is bad as well.
Right. Now, we see a note in chat here about slam traps. I haven't actually tested damage-wise, but my examination suggests that slam are non-elemental traps. But I should actually test that at some point to see if it bears things out empirically. I have been mistaken before about... I saw that the Acid Rain Ball itself was non-elemental, but the Acid Rain spell that it casts is elemental and is water, so yes. I always do like to stay humble.
Yeah, but that could make sense. I mean, I don't remember having taken extra damage from a slam, but it's not because I don't remember it. It never happened. I might just not remember it. I generally take the trap, whatever it is, and then move on unless I died, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, Shawnee, exactly that. All right. Okay. So again, like normal, you're gonna see these two runners explore for floor 1 to 5. Depending on what they get, they might get to explore 6, but generally you want to get out of that one as quickly as possible. 7, 8, and 9 is not a discussion. You find the elevator, you take it, and you just make sure that you find it as quick as you can because these floors are scary as all hell. And then they'll start to grind and restore their inventory if they can on floor 10. That's going to be our introduction for this run this time. They decided to go with a normal playthrough, which I really appreciate. Orza might want to actually show more of what he can do. Sadly, he is out of the tournament now, so every match is going to be an elimination match until the end. We are getting very close to the end, so because of PouletSansTete victory today, we're going to get a match between me and him. Probably next
I was
week.
wondering who that Sand Connect character was that was slated next.
Is it?
Yeah, Sand Knight. Wow, I didn't know it was you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so it's going to be me versus Poulet next match, and the winner of that match is going to go into finals, where Baldwin is actually sitting pretty just there, making sure he's waiting for a valid opponent. And I hope I can be that opponent, but you saw what I saw today. Poulet is going to be a very scary opponent, so... Yep, don't look forward to that match so much.
Yeah, and that being part of the second chance bracket, it would be like this match, an elimination match.
Yes.
We see that a little bit of difference. I don't believe Poulet picked up that decur scroll, whereas Horsa did pick it up. Could see Horsa potentially take a few more chances. A lot of Oleams here.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a Hulim Garden starting right now. Dude, is that the third or second one they each get? That's a lot anyway. On floor 4? 2 Oleams? Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah. We can't even blame it on the randomization, because we're actually running on version 2 point something, I think 2.10 of the de-randomizer after I found a bug in how the randomization worked. Really only potentially affected floors coming up to, but not including 32.
Yeah, okay.
But, yeah, this is just the game. Now, I did note that as Poulet takes the express train up to floor 6, that the game does actually have coded a red Ulim fruit that just goes entirely unused.
Oh, is there?
Yes, but I'm guessing they probably wouldn't have wanted to include that, given that this game does have a second tower where all items start unidentified. The second tower is not normally accessible, but using the randomizer, you'd be able to encounter it with one of the options you can turn on.
So I guess they made a color difference there to make sure that there wouldn't be like a bad play there.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to bank on a fruit being PETA, throw it at your familiar, and see that, oh, bye-bye familiar, and bye-bye you, you've left the tower inadvertently.
Yeah, and you lose the pet forever. Yeah, okay, I get the difference. Makes a lot of sense, actually, now. So many questions we can answer just by knowing that there is a second tower hidden in the game. Wow.
Yeah.
When you use a new limb on your pet, you lose that pet. That's a loss.
I mean, provided it's not CUNY who rejects the Olim.
Yeah, but you don't get warped either, so.
Yep.
Oof, that's really scary, actually. Think about that now. You're absolutely right. Second tower answers a lot of questions. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Floor 7, there actually also takes a small lead. Yeah, but you cannot lose CUNY to Ulim anyway, Shawnee, so you cannot take out the trash that way.
Yeah, it was only recently that I discovered or found out why it was that Shawnee always calls
CUNY trash?
Yeah, that it's because trash was put in the bag and trash was taken out of the bag.
Yep.
I would think that cat would also work.
Yep, the cat's out of the bag. Oh, nice. I like that one. Is there actually a monster that looks like a cat in this game? I don't think there is.
I mean, the trolls have some
cat-like
features. Ooh, warp trap there on Horus's side. Not too far of a warp, but he's got to choose whether he's going to try to come back to CUNY or go for an elevator. I think that he picked the right choice by choosing to have CUNY wait in place with AI1 this time and not run for the elevator, but run on back to CUNY. Absolutely the right play.
I would have walked on the trap, picked up CUNY, and warped myself with it.
Definitely an option, and he could choose to do that now. He has explored much of the floor, so...
Ooh, very low health on PouletSansTete side, and he is in melee with a U-boat, and the next hit is not a kill, so oof.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully having that higher ground advantage...
And CUNY's gonna take the hit, that's bad. You need to tell CUNY to stop.
Yeah, should be able to take it. Oh.
Yeah, but 2 is scary. He's fine, though.
He is fine, but if he hits that same warp trap, now CUNY is going to be on lower HP, and if a monster comes wandering along, that could be a much more dangerous situation than when CUNY was at full HP like he was on Horus's side. Life Wand, choosing to bypass that, keeping the Stream Wand but he uses a trap loop, and I think he bypassed that trap just by one tile. This is a little bit of a confusing floor here.
Yes.
But both runners have figured out whereabouts the elevator needs to be, and are kind of heading over to that corner of the map.
Yeah, floor 7 is going to get scary, especially right now. They are exploring the whole floor, and it doesn't seem to want to yield the elevator. As I say that, Poulet finds it. But you can see that Orza is trying to find that elevator at any cost, and it doesn't seem to want to show itself. So stretching along the amount of time it takes is going to make more scary situation, more monsters spawning, and more chance for a pincer. And this is where you really don't want to be. All right, so Poulet actually get out of that small situation, and he's now on floor 9.
Yeah, understanding that CUNY could easily take one hit, and moving him manually to avoid taking a second while Ko himself moves onto the elevator. Going on to floor 9, a sleeping U-boat is probably the only sort of U-boat you ever want to see.
Yep.
Dispatching that without too much difficulty here. I always do like, when possible, to try to take on a clown with CUNY alongside me, because I would much rather have CUNY lose level if the clown decides to slow down versus Co.
Yes,
but
and he
using a
can
little bit
take
of
the
AI.
hit. Yeah.
Yep.
So Orza actually finds the end of that never-ending floor 7, so that's always a good thing. Floor 8 is an elevator train, so he will be able to leave that as well. So it leaves only floor 9 as a scary floor. They're both on level 6, which is where you should be at that point. Is Orza gonna try to actually do guiding strats again? Didn't work for him last time, so...
Yeah, but this time he just so he would only be able to direct CUNY, because he moved, did not take a hit himself. He's only able to direct CUNY so far.
Ooh,
he's able to put him back into the bag.
I wouldn't have done that, though. I would have moved him to the right again, so I would have him already... okay, he can pick up the U-boat. That's not too bad.
Yep. But we also see that there's a little bit of difference in playstyle here, that where Poulet is sticking with the Stream Wand, Horza has switched over to that Life Wand giving you back 1/8 of the damage rounded up that you deal rounded up. Great for survivability.
Yes.
And also can potentially give you a little bit of a time save insofar as you don't need to wait on elevators to gain back HP.
Yeah, there was no extra animation for the draining of the life one, so it's actually really, really good. Also really good for survivability, especially paired early on with a good shield, which they have. A steel shield is really good. Obviously, it's not as good as a diamond shield because it can rust, but the only 1 point of defense in difference right now is not that huge. Steel shield, really good find. And the 6 point of defense is actually going to be huge early on. Obviously, not so much when they reach floor 20, but right now it's big.
Yeah.
Oof.
We see Orza managing to not build up too much of a monster train. I thought that was definitely going to be a situation where he was going to just be leading an absolute conga line here, but it looks like that's because they've come around to the other side here. He's going to have to deal with them somehow.
Yeah, the only good part of a Congo line is you know where every monster is. They are right behind you, right? So they won't come from the front. Obviously, one monster in the front when you have a Congo line is super scary, but at least it drops the chance of having a pincer attack in some kind of a sense. When they actually leave you from behind and actually go elsewhere is sometimes scarier because you know they're scattering, and now they might come from in front of you, which is never a good thing. So the Congo line might look like the worst situation ever, but I guess it's actually the second worst. Having only one enemy behind you and then everything else scatter is scarier in my opinion.
So Horza here taking his time to weigh out exactly how he wants to deal with the situation. He sees that there is another monster, a clown, coming down that hallway. It's not a great situation, but he is able to take a few hits, thankfully being on level 7, and that...
Oh, lucky him. So the bloom steps on both the U-boats, and right now, even though there are 3 monsters behind him, they all occupy the same space, which means that he shouldn't take extra damage like this time.
Except that was a little bit of a mismovement there. He didn't cut the corner, but still able to make it up to the elevator without losing hardly much HP at all, and with that life wand being able to get that back quite quickly. Meanwhile, Poulet, after having done a little bit of inventory management and a little bit of population control on these Dreamans, which, in the immortal words of Deme, aren't even good enemies, they able to build up a little bit of experience before heading up and spawning in the room with the blue collar. So, given that he's already rocking the Stream Wand, might absolutely use that if that isn't a CC to be able to change CUNY over to water. He is already on level 10, so that would be a pretty good place to change over. But it's just a question of whether he wants to do that a little bit later. Some runners prefer to be able to take out the Garudas before switching over.
Yeah, but if you see it in that kind of position, I feel that you're gonna say that all the time. I could see the argument that that pickets are annoying if you are water, which is true, but you're still gonna win the fight. It's just gonna take longer. And if you adhere to the I just want to make sure that I don't fight Garudas while in deficit elementally, that's gonna stay true for Zeus as well. And why not every other wind monster? I would change it right off. Or like right now. As soon as it's the elevator, just before leaving, I'd do that. But
Yep.
they both have their style of gameplay. I agree. Yep.
To talk. Oh, and Scarlet Wand here. We see that Horus is definitely going to free up some inventory space to be able to use that. On bump traps, we saw that kind of grayish-looking lump on the ground. I remember the first time I came across one, I'm like, what is this thing? And it's a trap that when you trigger it, it wakes up sleeping monsters in the vicinity. Oftentimes, there aren't any sleeping monsters, and so it just makes Ko fall on his face, and the game tells you it's not a big deal.
Yes. But in a sleeping room, like the worst part is in a monster den where every monster generally spawns sleeping. And then you hit a bump trap and you're like, no! That's really scary. And go up trap to floor 11. This has been a sluggish start for both runners. The floor 7 really was a pain on both sides. I feel it's going to get better right now because Orza is level 9, and that's the level you want to be at that point. Poulet is 2 floors higher, but 2 level higher, which is really good actually. So I feel they're really in a okay position. Refreshing their inventory is going to be important if they can find some good items. But PouletSansTete is been diving back into the scary part of the tower. Floor 14 has got Kraken, and as I say that, here's one.
Yeah, and that's not a friendly room. And you're right,
Nope.
that they're definitely going to be looking for some more use. Wow, Horus are getting 2 dodges without using the leather shield. I mean, they do have some. Ooh, that is
dead.
low
That
health.
Cunie's very dead. Why? Use a
You see
Uli, my
Poulet
friend.
not quite knowing what to do. I think if he had burned some of those Olims a little sooner, he may have been able to potentially get by. You don't want to necessarily use your resources, but your resources don't do you any good if you're already dead.
I agree.
So he's choosing to use the binding ball here, ignoring the usual rule, because he wants to create a little bit of a barrier.
Yeah.
He could use either a Olim or Olim on the Garuda there.
Well,
Bye-bye.
that's not a good thing. Yep. Kraken's waking up. Let the sleeping Krakens lie.
Yes, I usually say that about wee dogs, but
Oh, that saying goes for every sleeping monster in this game, I can tell you that.
yeah.
Oof. Okay,
And,
he's actually out of the woods, but I mean,
that was
let's call that a
quite
clearing.
costly encounter. I mean, we've yet to see Horza run across that, but Horza could choose to play that differently. Decurse, not exactly what Poulet is looking for.
Yep, and that's not either what he's looking for. Wow. Okay, so I guess Ulim is going to be the way here.
Yeah, that's usually... Oh, Binding Ball again. So Falcon hit, did we actually see a Restore Scroll, or was that attempt to call the hit?
I feel it's the second thing, but... It's going to take a hit from that. 9 damage is fine.
Oh, we did
see Restore. Ooh.
Yeah, so he's just got to try to find a opportunity to be able to use that. It does take a turn. And I was worried that was going to be a frog trap. They look very similar.
Yes.
Oh man, this floor 14 is not letting up. Let's see how Horza deals with this.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say.
Okay, letting CUNY do AI1.
That's not gonna be enough. Okay, good. They share the pain on this one, so at least there's that. But if he hits and kills the troll, then he's in melee with 2 monsters. And we have a death on PouletSansTete side. So Orza needs to actually clear that room. But I don't think that's a good move, because now how does he... Okay, no, actually he can take the 17 to hit again. The steel shield is huge.
And was that on floor 14 itself that Poulet went down?
Yes, so Orza needs to actually just find and use the elevator, and we have a winner for that friendly third. But anyway, this is the last floor. Like, there's either Orza wins or lose, but that's the last floor. Yep.
Well, I like this play that Orza's done here, using that medicinal, because you don't want a stray bomb trap or slam trap coming along and just wiping you out. He's sticking with his Scarlet Wand, going for the extra damage over the little bit of extra life. I have seen runners sometimes juggle wands to get a little bit of an advantage per the situation. But here against a wind monster like a Garuda, the extra damage from the Scarlet Wand is going to be extra appreciated.
Yeah, exactly. You can kill them before they hit you, so life stealing is not as good.
Yep. Choosing to use a Binding Ball here on the Kraken to sneak on by. Well, I was going to say sneak on by, but probably a wiser move to take it out.
Yeah, 3 hits. Not too bad.
And he, of course, does not know... Oh, yep, there was the Restore Scroll.
Okay, now let's go like that. He can kite them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he can kite both of them and kill them before the... Yep. Oh, unless he misses. He's still gonna be fine, but he won't be able to kite the second one as well as he did the first, so... Alright, alright. Taking care of the second one. CUNY's still alive. He's got a resource scroll in the end anyway. Is that the elevator room? It is. And we have... Oh, he doesn't know.
Oh.
Don't make that mistake. Alright, and we have a winner for friendly third. And this is going to be match for both of them. Wow, that was a set.
Yeah, we know that Poulet is going to take... a quick bio break here before joining us for interview. I will, however, send the invite. So we can be joined by eventually both of our runners. Okay.
Alright, so Orza has been notified that he actually won this round. We will see if they are open for an interview, but it generally would. Oh, geez. He's realizing he's won at the right time because this room is scary. Wow. Yeah, CUNY can take the hit. Yeah, it can, but oof. And luckily that Miniva didn't wake up, so there's always that. Okay. And yeah, we will try to reach on both of them to see if we can get the runners to join in and do some interviews. Because there's question that needs to be answered. These runs were crazy. Whew. And another Ulim. Wow, that was a garden seed.
Yeah.
Hello, Horza, my friend.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Poulet. Congratulations on the wins, but GG on both matches, on both sides. You guys played great.
How close was it?
I have opinions about my second race.
I can tell you it was as bad on Poulet's side as it was on yours. That's the thing.
So let's take the games one by one. So let's start
Yes.
with the first game. We saw, I believe that Forza, you were on 33, I believe.
Around about,
I was
yeah.
on 34 when the game was called.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that yeah, with stream delays, probably 34. So we thought that first seed was pretty generous. How did you guys think about it?
It was like too generous, honestly.
Yeah, too many items. Where do I put all these balls?
It was hard to manage that inventory because there was so much stuff.
Well, that's what happens when programmer generates your seeds and not Sand Knight. That's all I can say there.
Oh, do you want to talk about the second seed generated then, programmer?
Technically, that was the fourth seed that was outside of my guaranteed amount of luck.
It was much outside. So second seed definitely was not as gentle. You actually lost CUNY a little bit earlier, Orza, but just after that, Poulet lost his as well. And then you
Right.
both find a restore scroll. Again, you lost CUNY just after resurrecting it. Poulet did actually resurrect his as well and lost it again. But there was a longer time in between that what happened.
Yeah, I would imagine if it wasn't exactly the same way, because I literally revived him, took one step, got warped to the other side of the map, and then I
Yep.
walked in and killed Kune. Like, immediately.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that was just like use it, lose CUNY. Okay. At some point, every time someone out of you two lost CUNY, I asked chat to put F in chat to pay respect for CUNY. And at some point, the chat was pretty much only Fs because you got CUNY, you lost it, you got CUNY, you lost it, you got CUNY, you lost it. I was like, okay, chat is trying to keep up, and it's kind of hard. The second race was super close as well, up until actually Orza died on 34 second seed as well. That's where you died, right?
Yeah, I took a misstep and got myself killed.
So when you took that misstep, you actually were in front, in the lead, but by a second.
Oh.
So you both actually reached floor 34 at the same time, with Orza being in front by like a second.
Wow.
So actually, you put some pressure on Poulet to win that floor, but he actually did and ended up clearing the whole tower in the end. But yeah, that was like super, super close. So both considering you didn't have CUNY for the longest of time on each side and decided against hatching another Heg, which was definitely the right play. That was what made this run really interesting. This was super hype on both sides. You guys had really tough luck and still got out in front.
So,
Yeah.
Poulet, from your perspective, what were your thoughts about that second seed?
It was horrible because it was lulling me into a full sense of security, and suddenly CUNY is gone. What are you gonna do? Well, I'm gonna resurrect him, and he's dead again. Okay, but you know, I thought about Sand Knight in the middle of my run because I was contemplating whether I would take or not the restore scroll, and then I figured, fine, I'll take it so it doesn't bother on the stream. I took it, and CUNY got immediately warped elsewhere. Okay.
Yeah, so
Fine.
to let those who haven't watched our whole series know, Poulet in some previous races was a madman, left behind restore scrolls, left behind familiar bells, and then run into situations where both of those would have been quite helpful. He did manage to prevail, but here he chose to take the restore scroll, and it didn't matter before, and it didn't matter in this case, I guess.
Sadly, yes, using it was not the solution because on both sides they actually ended up losing it anyway. But yeah, Orza, second seed. What do you have to say? What was your experience there?
I mean, honestly, it just felt like usual practice for the glitched entry seeds I do a lot. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get Kune back. I'm not gonna get punished that bad. Okay. And then Kune dies again. I'm just like, well, the tower's telling me that I don't get a familiar this run, so I guess.
Yes.
Yes, and you guys both did really, really well going familiarless. That's we were telling everyone just what a feat it is to get up in a single run that high with a familiar. doing it without a familiar requires you guys to be absolutely on point in terms of your AI manipulation, in terms of your resource management, and Horza, you maintained a small lead for a good portion of that second seed, and Poulet, you kept it very close, and eventually, Poulet, you got it. Any thoughts about that final seed? It seems like nice equipment, but not too much in the way of other...
You mean the third one?
Yes, the third one.
Oh yeah, I played very badly, cornered myself, and then took a gamble on the troll, which didn't pay. Which I probably wouldn't have done at 1-1, but I decided it was more than 60% chance of picking it up. So I should be able to do it one time over two. I wasn't.
Yeah. That room with the Garuda, the Kraken, and that troll, is that what got you?
No, I died to a troll in the corridor slightly after this room.
Oh, okay.
I was being chased by a Kraken, I believe, and there was a troll in front of me, so I had to lift it up. No. He was not happy about it.
Yeah, and that room got his CUNY, whereas you didn't lose CUNY in that room, even though that was really scary. But yeah, not long after losing CUNY, just got up in a bad situation again, and that was the end. So I'd like to take a second to actually thank, first of all, Orza for being part of that magnificent tournament, making sure that, A, you were a really, really good runner, making sure that we had some good showcase. But other than that, you also helped a lot on making sure that the tournament was moving on and making sure that everybody was actually doing his thing. So thank you very much for that.
It's all good.
Yes. And Poulet, as you move along, you will have to face SpeedGaming.
So, Sun Knight. Oh, he left. Goodbye, programmer. Sun Knight, as I told you in first week of the tournament, I'm coming for you.
Can't wait. But yeah, absolutely, this is going to be a fun match as well. Can't wait to play you. Again, we saw a lot of aggressive versus conservative type players matchup. This is going to be aggressive versus aggressive. We haven't seen a lot of these because I guess it's becoming a little bit more popular to have consistency. But we don't care. We the French, we don't care about consistency. We want to make a good show, and that's what's going to happen next time. I can tell you that. We're going to win all the way to 40 or die on 7. There's no middle ground.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But again, thank you very much, programmer, for being my partner today. It's just really nice to have to shoutcast with such cool people.
My pleasure.
And sorry, go on.
Please.
Okay, I was going to say thank you very much for SpeedGaming as well, for the tech side and obviously the infrastructure, but most importantly, when they help us doing runs or prepare them, they're always so nice and so fun to work with. Absolutely, if you have any tournaments you want to put in from your community, think about SpeedGaming. They are great people to work with. I would never recommend it enough. And
or show your support by subscribing.
Yes, absolutely. I will link one last time our Discord if you want to join nice people as well to talk about the game we all care for and love. And one final thing, thank you very much, chat. You have been great today, pressing F in chat when CUNY died, which happened a lot. That was a lot of Fs in chat. And yeah, thank you very much. All the love in the world, and see you next time, which shouldn't be too long far gone. We're gonna have me versus Poulet coming up soon, just for your home pleasures. Thank you very much, everyone, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Everyone.
Thank you. Bye.